The sun was melting into the horizon, painting the wide Texan sky in shades of orange and gold. Dust swirled around the hooves of the horses as the ranch quieted for the evening. The wind carried the faint sound of a girl's laughter, soft but rare. It came from the back porch of the Dawson Ranch, where little Lucy Dawson sat on the steps, watching a young woman feed her a slice of warm cornbread. Her name was Clara Mae, a shy, gentle soul who had come to the ranch 6 months ago, seeking work after losing her parents in a small-town fire. She'd been through loss, heartbreak, and loneliness, but when she first met Lucy, something inside her healed a little. Lucy had stopped smiling after her mother's death. At only 7 years old, she had grown silent and cold, refusing to play, refusing to eat, and never speaking of her mother again. Her father, Henry Dawson, a rugged cowboy with kind eyes and a weathered heart, had tried everything, but nothing could bring joy back into his little girl's eyes. Until Clara arrived. It started small, Clara humming lullabies while cleaning the kitchen, Lucy listening quietly from the hallway. Then one day Lucy asked Clara to sing again. From that day forward, they were inseparable. Henry watched them from afar, unsure how to feel. Clara reminded him too much of what he'd lost, his wife, Mary. The same gentleness, the same quiet strength. Yet when Lucy began to smile again, Henry's heart softened. One evening, Henry came home early from rounding up cattle. He stopped at the gate, listening to Lucy's laughter drift across the yard. Clara was kneeling beside her, showing her how to plant small flowers in the garden. The sight froze him, not in sadness, but in gratitude. He walked closer, boots crunching on the dry dirt. Clara looked up, startled, and quickly wiped her hands on her apron. "Mr. Dawson," she greeted, her tone polite. Henry's eyes moved from her to his daughter, who was proudly holding a flower pot. "Well, I'll be," he said softly. "Ain't seen her smile like that in years." Lucy giggled and ran to him, showing her little hands covered in dirt. "Papa, look. Miss Clara says these'll bloom in spring." Henry knelt down, brushing some dirt from Lucy's hair. "They sure will, sweetheart." He looked at Clara, his voice low but full of feeling. "You're the only one who makes her smile," he said quietly. Then after a pause added, "My daughter needs you." Clara's cheeks warmed. I'm just glad to see her happy, sir. She's a special girl." He nodded. "That she is. And you've done more for her than I ever could." Days turned into weeks. Life on the ranch found a new rhythm. Clara took care of the house, helped with the animals, and spent every free moment with Lucy. The three of them, the cowboy, the girl, and the gentle housemaid, began to feel like a family. But Henry couldn't ignore the way his heart stirred every time Clara smiled. He'd catch himself watching her from the barn door as she brushed Lucy's hair or sang her to sleep. He knew it was wrong to think of her that way. She worked for him. And besides, he still wore his wedding ring. Yet the heart never listens to reason. One stormy night, thunder rolled across the hills. Lucy was afraid of thunder, always had been. She ran crying into Clara's room, trembling in her nightdress. Clara wrapped her arms around the girl, whispering softly, "It's just the sky talking, sweet pea. Nothing can hurt you." Henry, hearing the commotion, came in with a lantern. The sight that met him hit deep. Clara holding Lucy close, rocking her gently while singing a lullaby. His late wife used to sing the same tune. His throat tightened. "Clara." She looked up, startled. "I'm sorry, sir." She got scared. Henry shook his head, stepping closer. "No need to apologize. You're doing just fine." Lucy fell asleep in Clara's arms. Henry watched for a moment, then said softly, "Thank you. You've brought peace to this house again." Clara smiled faintly. "I didn't do much, sir." "Sometimes children just need someone to listen." Henry nodded, voice rough. "And so do grown men." For a long moment their eyes met, two souls both haunted by loss, yet slowly healing together. Then Clara lowered her gaze. "Good night, Mr. Dawson." "Good night, Clara." After that night, something changed between them. Henry began to find reasons to be near her, fixing the fence near the garden, riding into town with her to fetch supplies. Clara, too, found herself drawn to his quiet kindness. The way he'd tip his hat when she passed, the way he'd smile when Lucy laughed. One Sunday morning, Clara baked a pie, apple cinnamon, Lucy's favorite. They set it on the porch table. Lucy clapped her hands and said, "Papa, let's eat with Miss Clara." Henry chuckled. "Wouldn't miss it for the world." As they sat together, the breeze carrying the scent of apples and warm bread, Clara looked out across the fields. "This place. It's beautiful, peaceful." Henry nodded. "Been in my family for 3 generations. But it never felt like home again after Mary passed." Clara looked at him gently. "I know what it's like to lose everything." He met her gaze. "You do, and yet here you are, still smiling. Still bringing light." She looked away, blushing. "I just try to help where I can." Henry reached across the table, his rough hand brushing hers. "You've done more than help, Clara. You've given my daughter her life back." Before she could speak, Lucy burst out laughing as a butterfly landed on her shoulder. Clara joined her laughter, and Henry watched them both, realizing something deep and clear. This was the family he never thought he'd have again. Months passed. The ranch thrived. Henry found joy in small things. A cup of coffee shared on the porch, Clara humming while mending shirts, Lucy running barefoot through the fields. One evening, after tucking Lucy into bed, Clara stepped outside. The sky was filled with stars. Henry stood by the fence, staring out at the horizon. "Mr. Dawson," she said softly. He turned, smiling. "Henry, you can call me Henry by now." She hesitated. "Henry, then." He took a deep breath. "Clara, I've been thinking a lot lately." "About this ranch?" "About Lucy, about you." Her heart raced. "About me?" He nodded slowly. "You came here a stranger. Now I can't imagine this place without you. Lucy loves you. And truth be told, so do I." Clara froze, her eyes wide. "Henry, He stepped closer, his voice gentle. "I'm not asking for an answer tonight. I just wanted you to know you healed my daughter's heart. And you healed mine too." Tears welled in Clara's eyes. "I never meant to." He smiled softly. "You didn't have to mean it." Sometimes love just finds its way. That night, Clara couldn't sleep. She sat by the window, watching the stars, thinking of Henry's words. He was a good man, a strong, loyal, kind, and she loved Lucy more than anything. But after everything she'd lost, she was afraid to open her heart again. The next morning, Lucy ran into her room, holding a daisy. "Miss Clara!" "Papa says we're going to the river today. Please come." Clara smiled. "I wouldn't miss it." At the riverbank, Lucy played with pebbles while Henry stood beside Clara, their reflections shimmering in the water. He reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. "Maybe," she whispered. "Maybe it's time I stopped running from happiness." Henry squeezed her hand gently. "Then let's stop running together." Lucy turned and saw them, beaming. "Miss Clara!" "Are you going to stay forever?" Clara smiled, eyes glistening. "If your papa will let me," Henry chuckled. "Darling, I was hoping you'd never leave." And as the sun dipped behind the hills, the 3 of them stood together, the cowboy, his daughter, and the woman who brought them both back to life. For the first time in years, the Dawson Ranch truly felt like home.